This is a video showing you how to make anything using surface modeling. So we're going to start with a cube, and first I want to save this file. Make sure you save it as well. I'm going to save this as what am I going to call this? Disassembled. That's too much. Take apart cube. Should call it that as well. I'm going to go in here and save it in the folder for this class. I'm using first period as an example. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is make something really simple, and I'm just going to go to Create Box, select a surface, click on the origin, create a rectangle, and then pull it up to be something. I want it to be not square. So I'm going to make it a little bit more rectangular in this way so it's a little easier to see what the pieces look like. And click OK. Doesn't really matter how big it is or anything. I'm also going to start a sketch right next to it. So this, you'll see what this is for in a second. I'm going to start a sketch on the bottom. You can probably use any side and draw a line. And this line should be in line with the grid lines and of maybe twice as long as the rectangle over there. And say check mark, done, or escape. I'm going to finish my sketch. Now I've got this line and this cube here. So we think about extrude as taking a two-dimensional shape and pulling it in one direction. And we think about this thing as being totally solid. You don't have to do this right now, but if you go into Inspect and Section Analysis, I can click on this object and slice it and see that it is modeled as solid all the way through here. I'm going to change this into something that is not solid. It's harder to make solid things, and it's easier to make things that you can make out of their surfaces. Okay, so we're going to switch to surface modeling, which is right up here in the top. And the first thing I'm going to do is create a surface from a line, which is a different kind of extruding. I'm going to go to Create Extrude in Surface Modeling, grab that line, and I'm going to go up to make a surface like this. And it doesn't really matter how big it is, but I did it about twice as big as my cube. Or this is not really a cube, it's a rectangular prism, technically. All right, now I'm going to take apart my my three-dimensional shape and put it inside of here. But first I need to take it apart. Right now it's thought of as one solid object, and we think of it as stitched together. To unstitch it, use this little red X button here. And I'm going to click on my thing, and click OK. And now, if you look in the Bodies menu, you see you have a bunch of pieces instead of one solid thing and a different little icon next to them. Right, I'm going to switch back to solid modeling where things, not that you need to, but you can at this point, switch back to solid modeling. And I'm going to try to take this apart. First of all, this thing here is my stock. You might have done, so I'm going to call that stock. This is maybe right, maybe top, maybe bottom, maybe back, maybe front, and you could call this left. All right, I'm going to take this apart into here using joints, but first I need to make components from bodies. I'm going to right-click on my Bodies menu and create components. So now these are all separate components. And J for joint, I'm going to take it apart and put it in here. And you don't need to flip it because they have no thickness right now. So these are designed as thinner than thin sheets of paper, thicknessless objects. And we're going to slide them to the corner. And J for joint, grab this one, put it in here. You may have to click a couple of times if you can't click on the center. Jointing can be really challenging. I'm noticing that my object is not going to fit in my stock, and that's okay as long as I position everything as close to a rectangle as possible to utilize the space I would have as best as possible. And if you don't remember how to get to the joint command, it's also in assemble joint, or shortcut J is what I'm using right now. And just take this thing apart. Now, we're doing this so that we can manufacture it. And because using this method you can make almost anything, and we're going to do some examples in class that are a little bit more interesting. Alright, there's my object there. I can turn off my stock now. I don't really need it, and I can see these shapes right here, and if I were to laser cut them, I would start a sketch on the surface and project include all of my shapes to take them over to the laser cutter to build them. Last thing, to turn this in, I want you to take a screenshot and attach it to the document in Schoology. And I'm going to do that screenshot now. I want it to include your name and the objects and your history down below. So basically just take the whole screen like so, and then you can put that in your document. All right.